6.8, evaluate log derivative at a point level 1. We've got our function 5 times natural log of 7 minus 2x. What is the value of f prime of 3 in simplest form? So our first step is to find the derivative of this function. Remember that natural log functions, when you take the derivative of them, let's just say it's the natural log of x, it's 1 over x. And the chain rule still, of course, applies. So in this problem, since it's 5 times, just like if I had like 5x, the 5 is still staying the same. So this would be a 5, and then I'm going to put over this inner part, 7 minus 2x. But then the chain rule says that I have to take the derivative of the inside, which is times a negative 2, which is really on the top. And so what I get is negative 10 over 7 minus 2x. Plug in specifically 3. I get negative 10 over 1, which is negative 10 would be my slope. So that one's pretty simple. Number 2, finding the derivative of this natural log has nothing in front, so it's going to be a 1 over 3x cubed times the derivative of the inside is 9x squared. So we get something that simplifies. 9 divided by 3 is a 3, would be in the numerator. X squared, and take out an x squared, would be really an x on the bottom. So we get that. So easy enough, I just plug in a 1, and it would be 3 over 1, which is 3. Number 3 has a trig value. So it'd be 1 over this inside part, cosine of 3x, times the derivative of the inside, which is the cosine, that would be negative sine of, keep this 3x, times the derivative of the inside part, since it's not just x, would be times a 3. And so fixing that, I get negative 3 times sine of 3x over cosine of 3x. And now we want to plug in our 3 times 11 pi over 18. So before I even plug that in, think about if I took 3 times 11 pi over 18. The 3 divides out of these numbers, 18 divided by 3 would be 6. So I'm really finding at 11 pi over 6, that might make it easier to go and plug that in. So it'd be negative 3 times sine of 11 pi over 6 over cosine of 11 pi over 6. And so you might need your unit circle, but that's going to be all the way to here, because a sixth of pi, which is 180, is 30. 11 times 30 is 330 degrees. So my reference angle here is a 30. And I know sine of a 30 is 1/2. But it'd be negative because you're going down for the y value. I know cosine of a 30, this adjacent leg, is square root of 3 over 2. And it would be positive because for the x value you're going to the right. And so what I get is positive 3/2 divided by square root of 3 over 2. I want to fix that by multiplying by the reciprocal, 2 over square root of 3. 2's cancel. I get 3 over square root of 3. I think it'll take that answer, but if you want to rationalize, you get 3 square roots of 3 over 3, and the 3's cancel. So you get square root of 3. I guess what we really could have done is said this is sine over cosine and called this tangent at 11 pi over 6. And that could have also gotten us our answer. Okay, and then number 4, we have 1 over natural log of x. We'll have to move this so that it is natural log, right over here, of x to the negative first power. So I'm floating this whole thing up so that I don't have it in the denominator. And so I want to do chain rule here. Since this power is on the outside, I have to move it to the front, keep the inside the same, subtract 1 from the power, so now it's a negative 2, times the derivative of the inside, which is simply natural log of x, and that derivative is 1 over x. So if I fix this, I get, really the only thing on top is a negative 1 over, I'll put the x in front, x times natural log of x squared. So I floated this down to the bottom and now made it a positive power. And they're wanting us to specifically find the derivative when we plug in e to the third power. And so I have e to the third times natural log of e to the third quantity squared. And so now I don't want to do this power first. I want to think about a natural log of e to a power. We've seen this early on with our properties of logs. If I have natural log, that has a base of e. So I'm saying e to what power would make e cubed? That's simply going to be the 3. And so having a natural log of e really is just canceling itself out, and that just becomes 3. So I'd have negative 1 over e cubed times simply 3 squared. And the only thing left I can do is do 3 squared, which is 9, and I'll put that in front of the e cubed. And that's your answer, because remember, e is an irrational number.